What's going on YouTube? Hey, it's Ben Nader. Thank you guys so much for checking out my channel. For those of you that have not seen me before, we talk about entrepreneurship, recruiting, staffing, startups, business, everything in between pretty much. And if you like that kind of stuff, smash the subscribe button. If you're already a subscriber, I love you. Just hit the like button so we can rank this video up. Thank you very much. So let's get into today's topic. So I've been talking with a ton of you on LinkedIn and on the Six Figure Recruiting Academy Facebook page, and just connecting with a bunch of people and answering questions and going back and forth talking about recruiting and starting up a recruiting agency. I have personally been in the game with my agency for about 1.5 years now, and I thought it came to my attention that I should do a video about what I've learned in basically the first year. So a year in, what you should know, what I've learned in a year so far, and what you would know into recruiting a year. So I'll get right into it. So the first thing I want to tell everyone is that recruiting is not rocket science. So a year in, you will have learned this at that point. Recruiting is not rocket science, okay? So, everyone makes things out to be something that's pie in the sky, super difficult, unattainable, or, I'll never get there, or there's no way that I could do that. Recruiting isn't like that. Recruiting is simplistic, it's straightforward, it's very mechanical. Once you get it down, it's rinse and repeat. It's a business that's very replicable. You find clients, you find candidates for those clients, you match them up, you send them over, you have agreements in place, you get paid, you rinse and repeat. The business model is simple. It's not rocket science. It doesn't take a college degree. There are people that are millionaires many times over with their agencies that have never gone to college, and they just started recruiting, and they've just done their thing and rinsed and repeated. So recruiting isn't rocket science. That's definitely one thing you will learn going into recruiting a year in, for sure. Something I've personally learned most definitely, initially thinking about recruiting 1.5 years ago and thinking, wow, that's an industry that I haven't touched, and that's something that I've never thought about, or that's got to be something you might have some particular skills needed for or whatnot. But no, it's not the case. Recruiting is not rocket science. So just relax, understand that you can get there. Anybody can get there. It just takes a little bit of learning and mentorship and kind of, putting your nose to the grindstone and understanding what it is, and then rinsing and repeating. So that's the first thing you would have learned a year in. The second thing a year in is that people are much more approachable than you think they are. So this is a hard one to get your head around because it's psychology, right? So we're just tuned to believe that people are not approachable. We don't just go up and ask people things. We don't just message people. We don't just email them out of the blue, that sort of thing. We don't just start connecting with them just to connect with them and talk about stuff. Well, actually you do. And actually they're really, really responsive, to be quite honest. So a year in, I've learned that people are super approachable. They're actually really, really approachable. I mean, I've had phone calls where people are like, wow, thanks for calling me. We really needed this right now, or, they respond and they say, yeah, we definitely need your services, or we definitely want to talk with you about that. Or we're super interested in connecting with you further about, filling this role or filling that role. So people are so much more approachable than you think they are. So you have to get around that mindset shift to understand that actually people want to interact with you. We're wired to actually interact with each other. We just believe that for some reason, we're not supposed to interact with each other, or it's, faux pas to email someone out of the blue. It's not, okay? Part of recruiting and beginning a recruiting agency is a ton of outreach, whether it be cold calling or cold emailing. You need to connect with people, and they're so much more approachable than you think they are. So a year in, that's one thing that I've definitely learned for sure. The third thing I'd say that I've learned is that I am capable of so much more than I thought I was capable of. And this is one that's huge. I could go on and on. I could do a whole video about this in particular, but I started my agency, and the first deal was a simple, little minute deal for an admin. The second deal was almost $40,000. Unbelievable. I never thought that I would get to that type of level in any business, but when I started hitting these big deals, getting these big clients, and making bigger money, I realized that my capabilities stretch so much further than what my mind was telling me my capabilities were at. So you will learn a year in, at least a year in, probably hopefully 3, 4 months in that you're so much more capable than you believe you are. Hopefully within 30 days you'll understand that, because when you land a client and they actually start taking your candidates and you get paid and you realize that all you did was just match make some people and you made some money, you'll realize like, wow, I'm capable of so much more than I thought I was. And I truly still believe that now. And now I even utilize this to this day while I'm scaling to understand that I'm capable of even more than I was capable of then, and even more than I'm capable of right now. So at this very moment, I'm capable of so much more than I think I am still. And so with that constant mindset, you're just going to go further and further up the chain. And so that is a huge lesson that I learned, and that I think you would definitely learn a year into recruiting. You're so much more capable than you think you are. And that's huge. Starting a recruiting agency is really, really easy. Scaling it is harder. So that's the fourth thing that I learned. Starting a recruiting agency is cake, okay? It takes nothing. Like I've described this in a billion other videos, so I'm not even gonna go into it. But setting up your agency and actually becoming like a business and being like, I run a recruiting agency and like I email clients and I send them candidates and I get paid. Setting up your recruiting agency and starting to do business is simple. That's very easy. Scaling it is harder. So getting better clients, bigger clients, more clients, residual clients, repeat business, getting bigger orders, bigger job orders where they want 10 people instead of just 2 people. That's harder. So those types of things are where you need to develop relationships, get in deeper with the clients. You need to present some bigger and heavier value than you provided before. And that's what makes scaling harder. It's not hard and unattainable. I'm not saying that at all, but it's harder than just starting a recruiting agency. So, you'll have learned a year in that starting your recruiting agency was really, really simple and easy, but scaling it is definitely something that is a little bit harder. So, so I would say that that's where I'm at currently in my journey, and scaling up things is definitely harder than just starting. So you can get there and you will get there, and it's a lot of fun along the entire journey, even the scaling part. In itself is also fun, but it's a lot harder than just starting. So the last item that I would say that I've learned a year in, I learned this, is that you pretty much get exactly what you put into it. So this is a cliche and it goes back forever. Pretty much for any business you could apply this, but for recruiting and staffing, starting your own agency, going solo, which all of these apply to solo recruiting. I'm talking about starting an agency, running your own show, both sides of the desk, recruiting and new business. I would say that you get in exactly what you get out what you put into it, exactly commensurate levels. So the amount that you cold call or cold email is the amount that you're going to get new business. The amount that you engage with new potential clients and put yourself out there and reach out and actually make valuable connections and make valuable offers and develop a relationship is the amount that you're actually going to reap the rewards of that work. So you're going to get out exactly what you put into it, and that's exactly how it works every single time. A lot of people, when you first start, you'll learn that it takes a little bit to ramp that period up, but once you get up there, you're going to start getting a ton of responses back, and you're going to get people wanting to work with you and clients, and some you'll even have to turn away, like I've talked about in other videos. But you reap what you sow. You're pretty much going to get exactly what you put in out of it, and that can be highly, highly lucrative, which is still why I love recruiting and why I love the business itself. But I will say that a year in, you'll definitely learn that you get exactly out what you put into it. And so that's something that you need to wrap your head around and understand and know, because at the end of the day, once you realize that you're in control 100% of your income, of the value you deliver, of everything that you get out of it, then you'll work to the level that you want to work. And if you want to work to be $1 million biller, you'll do that. If you want to work to be just, hitting 6 figures a year, you can work to do that. I mean, that's fairly simple and straightforward. But, you know, scaling anywhere from 100,000 up to $1 million, you know, that's where it gets, you know, heavy and different, and you've got to apply techniques and really put in some serious work. So you get out exactly what you put in. And so, you know that, remember that, learn that. And so these are the things that I have learned a year into the business. So I've been in for about a year and a half, running my agency. And so, you know, after about a year though, these are the exact elements that I have learned, and that everyone would have learned at this point a year in. So that's what I got today, guys, for Tuesday. I'll catch you tomorrow on Wednesday. I hope you're having a great week, and I'll see ya.